We're live now on Facebook and YouTube. So let's go. Welcome, Fluttershy filkers and rarity rappers. I'm Captain Bunny Stampede. He's Archie. We're the Brony Boys, and this is Season 1, Episode 4, Applebuck Season. Join us as we cantalot through every single episode of the animated masterpiece, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. All 222 episodes across 9 seasons. That's right, we've got 3 down and only 219 to go. Don't worry, we're no one-trick ponies here. We are 100% committed to reviewing every single episode of the show that began in 2010 and continues to attract otherwise well-adjusted, straight, and straightish males even to this day. So pony up and let's share our thoughts about all things My Little Pony. Remember to share our show to all the bronies, phonies, cronies, chonies, stonies, and jabronis you know. Hi, Archie.
Hello.
How do you like them apples?
I love them apples. You always know I could take myself an apple. How about you? Do you like them apples, Safe?
Oh, I do. This was a good one.
Oh, yes. This is an interesting one here. Oh, man.
This is my favorite episode so far of the 4 that I've seen.
This one?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Perfect.
So please introduce our guest, who I hear knows a thing or two about My Little Pony.
Yes, he does know. His name is Discorded Luna, or we'll be calling him by Luna today. He knows a good amount. I don't know how much he knows, but I know he was a brony and he's watched through it a while. We've talked about it a couple times, and yeah, he's a pretty cool dude.
And does he talk? Or
yes. Hello, Lulu.
Hi. Hello. I am the one, the myth, the legend, Lulu.
Excellent.
Nice.
So we got some feedback, and maybe both of you can help explain to me briefly what it all means.
Got it.
We've got a few people that seem to really like the show, and even better, we seem to be converting some non-bronies who have started watching it along with us, which is amazing. So we got a comment from Shady Mist on YouTube.
Okay.
And they asked, are you going to be reviewing the episodes, or just the episodes, they mean, because there's a lot more than just the episodes. So they said season 1, 2, 3, then Equestria Girls, Summertime Shorts, Makeup, Shake Up, a Photo Booth Story, Raise the Roof. Season 4, Rainbow Rocks Prequel Shorts, Rainbow Rocks Encore Shorts. Season 5, Friendship Games Shorts, Friendship Games, Summertime Shorts, Steps of Pep. Season 6, Legend of Everfree, The Magical Movie Night Trilogy, Dance Magic, Movie Magic, and Mirror Magic. Summertime Shorts. Season 7, Better Together, Season 1, Forgotten Friendship, Roller Coaster of Friendship, My Little Pony the Movie, 2017. Wait, there was a movie?
Yes, there was a movie.
I believe so.
Cool. Choose Your Own Ending, Season 1, Better Together, Season 2, I'm on a Yacht, Spring Breakdown, Season 8, Best Gift Ever Shorts, Best Gift Ever, Friendship is Magic Shorts, Season 9, Episode 1 to 13, Rainbow Road Trip, Better Together Season 2, Sunset's Backstage Pass, Better Together Season 2, Find the Magic, Let It Rain, Choose Your Own Ending Season 2, Better Together Season 2, Cheer You On, Do It, what the hell? Do It for the Ponygram? Yeah. Holidays Unwrapped, and then Season 9, Episode 14 to 26. So that's all just like some weird code to me.
I just gotta say, I have not even heard of some of those.
It's been a lot, honestly, during that time.
Yeah, holy crap. That's something that I guess we would need to know. Are we going to do the Equestria Girls movies? I would say we probably should, but I don't know about all the shorts.
It will honestly give me a good time to actually look back to it, because I remember watching those. I kind of like the story, honestly, especially the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends how many bonus episodes we want to do. Like, we've got 222 main episodes that we've got to do. And then it's just, some bonus episodes
Well, do we want to count we could count the shorts as bonus episodes, but I think the movies should be main episodes because the movie actually gets referenced in the show. So,
Oh, okay. So then it really should be 223 episodes.
yeah, that the movie, a couple, I don't know. We'll see how this all works. We're only in season 1. We got this. We just gotta make it to season 3, and then we can start all that.
Let's cross that bridge when we get there.
Oh yeah.
So before we get into the episode, of Friendship is Magic that we all watched, we ask every guest the standard same questions. And if you can answer faster than a flying Wonderbolt high on horse glue, that'd be great. So, Luna, are you ready?
Yep.
Who is your... Sorry, now
Best that at one.
I've got to do it fast. Got to do it fast. What is your first My Little Pony memory?
My first My Little Pony memory was basically seeing Luna as in the book, and right there instantly, as you can tell by the name, I instantly fell in love with her. And then when I know about the story, I'm like, I can relate to her a lot.
Cool.
So
that answers the second question of who your favorite My Little Pony is.
Yep. If it's not a giveaway, I don't know what is.
So next question, who is your least favorite My Little Pony and why?
Oh,
this is gonna be a controversial. I just dislike Rainbow Dash, honestly.
hey.
Wow.
Like the only reason why it's just that I really hate characters who are very into themselves, very rookie-ish, very, very hostile. Have you ever hurt their pride? That's what I really hate about that, because I really hate people where they think pride is just the only way. Like, come on. It's like, for me, it's like, it's not all of that. And she does learn very much later on where I kind of like her, to the point where it's like, if some person will be like that, yeah, I kind of like that person if they learn humility rather than just egotistic.
Yeah.
All right.
But I still hate her.
I'm hearing what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Would you hide your love of My Little Pony if your partner was a hater, or do the right thing and dump the old nag and find someone who loves you and My Little Pony equally?
During my years of having that, I kind of honestly per se that it doesn't even matter either way. I'm just one of those people who's like, accept those who are themselves, honestly, because those are the funnest people you can have around. Because if you ever have those kind of like mentality of just like, I'm just trying to fit in, because some other people just want you to be in that kind of certain way, you're not going to have fun. You're just going to be there just to be there, and gives you so many excuses like, oh, I'm just here for the socializing, or I'm just here for like just being here, or just only a reason for that. So me, when I first watched it, I think it was somewhere around my middle school, I tend to wear a little bit of the outfits until later on. Well, in the high school, I'm just like acceptable to it, but I never upshow it. I never like show my pride too much. I just had things where it's like, yeah, I watched it, and I had so many good friends who also said they also watch it, even though they were kind of a closet brony, as you know, as you can tell. So me, I never hated. I even had some friends who just like the first mentality was like, oh, it's just for little girls and such. Yeah. And for me, I'm like, everything is ready. It shows you a lot of plots, shows you a lot of moralities and such. It doesn't have to be just one sector, you know. It can be many people at many genders at many age. So I love that just because of the way it is.
All right.
Excellent. Yeah, no, there's a question of whether I might be turning into a closet brony, or if I got to keep pretending that I don't like the show.
You would be a closet brony, wouldn't you?
The purposes of this podcast,
Okay. The next question is like, if you're transported into Equestria, as a pony, what's the first thing you would do? Before you answer that, what race would you be?
Race? Oh, definitely a Pegasus. Definitely. I just like the wings and such. I just really do. I can never be a normal horse, and I don't think Magic's gonna be like. I don't like sources so much because you have to be really smart about what you have to use for spells. And it's like we can see in the show, makes them those who know that are either very high or just like I just know basic magic. For me, if I can fly, I can go everywhere. And just imagine free moving and such. Like I can travel whatever I want. I'll get tired, but you know.
Yeah. Huh. All right. What would be the first thing you would do though when you were transported there?
First, I will freak out because my reality just changed.
What
It's like,
the-
why am I here? Why am I talking? Why I be sad like instantly because just imagine I don't have any arms anymore, and I use my arms pretty much everything from lifting to like pick myself up by holding my cat. But the first thing I was trying to do is just try to find answers. Why am I here? Is it just one of those like weird animes cliches or something like that? Where I just like, am I the chosen one? I don't feel like the chosen one.
All right. Hey, that is a completely understandable answer.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I know some people will be like, "Oh, sweet, I can just do." No, yeah. To me, I'm more like a realistic kind of person. It's like, come on. It's like at first, if your life just basically changed, like you're a celebrity or something like that, the first thing you want to do is find answers,
Yes.
make everything make sense to you. I don't know what else. And then later on, I'll be like, yeah, I can go to Pinkie Pie and hopefully all those treats she ever had was actually true rather than just Pshaw, you know?
Speaking of Pinkie Pie, this is a question that is apparently thrown in there. Can you do her voice? Or any of the other ponies' voices?
I have a masculine voice, so there's no way in hell I can talk to anyone at all. I can make a good Discord.
Hey.
Well, not that good, but the only male voice I remember there is
You can't do Big Mac?
Big Mac. Nope.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. No way, no how. I sound like Eeyore, to be honest.
Yes. All right. If you had to have like a My Little Pony as a playable character in your favorite video game, which one would it be?
Luna, 100%.
Hey.
Second one would be Twilight, because her guidance will help me a lot. But other than that, Luna, all the way.
What game would you put her in?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but I'll put her in Kingdom Hearts. I can see her like in there, honestly, because they have that cartoonish Final Fantasy kind of vibe there, and she fits well there.
Yeah, that would totally fit.
It wouldn't seem out of place at all.
I mean, you do have Winnie the Pooh, some of the Disney characters too, even a mouse with a keyblade. So
you have, Toy Story.
Yeah.
Toy Story even, and you've been into what's it called? The Lion King's then when you turn into a lion too.
Yep.
So
yeah, because it's already a mashup game. That's what you're saying, isn't it? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. I think you already have touched on this. Why do some people think it isn't normal for men to like My Little Pony? What's wrong with them?
And this is like kind of an understandable kind of thing, even though I kind of see it as a problematic, but I can see this as a genuine thing. People in society just think of a way. I'm not trying to be like jokers, like, oh, this is a way of society. It's like, no, this is just basically how everybody thinks. Like everybody, even their grandmothers by past eras think that men should just have this like strong and ethnic body kind of thing where they're just supposed to be like, oh, a higher standards of being like muscular and independent, responsible. Men don't cry and such. But honestly, if you kind of let that be your mentality, you have a lot of problems having it on yourself, especially problems we are facing now, where it's kind of like, I don't want to touch too many subjects, but the best example for that is that like guys, honestly, they do want to let out their frustration. We all have frustrations and such, but because we're titled as men by our genders and such, we tend to be like, oh, I can't really tell about my problem because, oh, we have to handle it by themselves and all that. And it's like, no, it's really good. Like, we understand, like, in our young childhood years and morale and all that, is that we have to, like, at least talk about it. And that way it can help, like, a lot of problems be solved, honestly. But since we have the mentality of that, it's just no. So going back to the show, people would just think, oh, you can't like that show because it's not for you, even though this is completely false. There's a lot of shows that isn't just for you, but the shows mainly for their geographic is everyone, honestly. As long as they don't show things that that's made for like people older and such. Like there's things that you can't show to little kids and all that, but there's things most adults can see because we've been here from this earth for many years. So why not show us a show for for younger kids?
Yeah, no, I think society has changed a lot, and it's an open question now of what masculinity is and what kind of masculinity like works best with the ever-changing society.
Yeah, and then it also, if it's healthy to have the mentality too.
Yeah, exactly.
But something else that you said, Dave also said this in, like, I think the first or second episode, that you said it's like for everybody, like a family show, not just for like little girls. Dave was like, oh yeah, I can see this being, not just for a younger audience. I can see some older audiences enjoying it, which I thought was interesting that you said it as well. As long as Dave, which, he's only seen 4 episodes at this point.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I mean, already there was episode 3, there was a Benny Hill reference, which is an old UK comedy from like the 70s, 80s. So
there's so many references there, honestly, that most kids just fly over their heads, honestly.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, Archie had never heard of Benny Hill, so but it's the chase sequence in episode 3, which so I mean, it's those kind of things that you've just got to do a little bit of that, just like a few nods to say, oh, we know that it's not just little girls watching this show, and that makes a lot of difference to my certainly to my enjoyment.
I mean, there are some jokes there that I think they purposely put in there because they know that there's going to be other people watching it too, and not just one specific kind of geographic person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So next question: which My Little Pony do you find sexiest?
The what?
Sexiest.
I have a feeling I might know the answer to that one.
But there's a difference between cuteness and sexiest. So I have to say that goes to Rarity, honestly.
Oh, really? I'm actually surprised by that.
But the only reason for that is that I would think that you would think I would choose. No. I think she's adorable. She's cute.
Yeah.
She's something I would like to hold and all that. Rarity is just like, she has the characteristic of a charming person, especially the way she's dressed, the way she acts. She's always having this like, womanhood kind of thing, which everybody likes, honestly. She's very charming and such. She can make Spike like her the most. Then that gives her that right.
All right. Next question. If My Little Pony didn't exist, what do you think you would be a fan of instead?
Well, I'm always been a huge fan, of course, with Kingdom Hearts, because I am a Kingdom Hearts fan by heart and such, and MOP is second. But if it wasn't there, I guess the place I would take it there would be Doctor Who or Final Fantasy, honestly. Because before I became a Brony, I was also part of their fandom for quite a while, and I always get the gist when I heard somebody guess, "Oh, have you seen the new Doctor Who?" or somebody says like in a robotic voice, just joking around, "Exterminate," and I'd be like, "Hey, you watch that show, don't you?" So yeah, there's probably be those two.
All right.
Do you see any similarities between Doctor Who and My Little Pony?
Of course. We're
trying
talking
to
about that one specific course, that one specific one. Then yes, when I first saw him, I think there used to be a name for him. I can't remember what it was, but I know a lot of people call him Dr. Hooven, instead of
Mhm.
like or Hooves, because
Right.
Who and Hooves, and I know in the canon that isn't his official name, but he looks exactly like, if I could remember, it was the Ninth Doctor,
Oh,
if I
okay.
can remember, which was if I can remember. No, I think it was a 10th. Sorry,
Mhm.
the 9 was what's it called, the first actually Doctor. He was played by David Tennant, if I can remember,
Oh yeah.
but I forgot like which number it is. I believe it's 10. So he looks exactly like him though. So I can see the characteristics of it.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Next question. What's your favorite song from My Little Pony, and can you sing it?
Mm,
We're not going to make you sing, but
if you don't want to.
Unless you want to.
I can sing 2 verses, and that I hope that counts as singing.
Oh, that's good.
But
What is the song first before you sing it?
I actually like the tone of Winter Wrap Up, because
Oh,
it's kind of like it's not like a good song. It's just a catchy song.
it's one that'll get
Oh.
stuck in your head.
Yeah, literally when I first heard it, I started singing it. I was like, Winter Wrap Up, Winter Wrap Up, this one got something here. But it was like, it got like, okay, I wanted to stop wanting to hear other music, and then in the
Mhm.
background of my mind, it's just like it has that song. I think it gave me a few weeks until I completely forget about that song, and that's where I listened to Taps back in the day when he was like making the MLP music, and I remember he also made a remix about it, and I was like, here we go again. Just like CJ, here we go again.
I don't know. Did the Living Tombstone ever make a remix of that song? I don't think he did.
Tombstone, I don't know, but Taps was a different kind of person. He was like a little bit famous in Tombstone. But I still
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, he did. He actually did. He made a remix of the song. Okay.
All right. Because I think I would imagine them doing everything, because I remember every time when they make a new song, like the first thing they do is remix it.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I just noticed that the other day. Actually, there is a lot of remix and electronica and like the MLP like music fandom part of it. I was
Yeah.
just like, there's so many of those.
Yeah, and because of the show, there was a lot of people who are like enthusiasts towards music and art and such. And I remember that being such a high thing to them, to the point where there was a lot of fan fiction about them. There was a lot of music about the show. There was a lot of like drawings for them too. And I was really surprised that, like, I would imagine any show that becomes popular, they will have, somewhat a lot of people of those. But that, like, MLP just became like a huge new thing, to the point where there was a lot of people trying to do their own thing. And sadly, there's few that became famous for it that we know
Mhm.
today. But overall, it kind of like piqued people's interests and make their own, even to this day, to their own careers in some ways.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a bonus episode in the the music or the remixes of My Little Pony, right?
Yes, there's definitely
Like it.
enough content and stuff for that there.
You
But-
have a whole
So-
week just to listen to them, because it takes you like a good weeks, even months, honestly.
There's also just remixes of literally just them talking. Like they remix that into a song.
Oh yeah, I remember. There was one. I remember somebody. I think it was like a small rapper who used to use Twilight's voice a lot in the remix. Honestly, and I thought that was kind of funny. Honestly,
I'm just gonna have a little minor rant.
All right.
Somebody
for it.
messaged me asking, "What is this?" to what we're doing now,
Okay.
and then I said what it is, and then and they can see that we're streaming, and so they decided to call me. It's like,
Oh.
thanks, Zach.
I think Zach and I have the same mentality. When we first see something new, we just trying to understand it. Basically, what it is.
What is this?
Where am I?
Let's start singing the sticking song. What's this?
What's this?
And then the last question: do you think you'll still be a massive brony in 10 years? And if not, why not?
I mean,
2030.
like in general, would I still be a brony? I think yes, but I would honestly say I wouldn't be such a big fan that I was when I first saw it. Honestly, as many days and later on years come by, you know, some people come and go and such. Some people just stay a fandom, while some others are like, well, there's nothing new coming around. So, and I like this other show better. And that's what some people did, honestly. Some people just move on, to other things to try to draw, make music for different shows and such. And I think that's pretty normal to have people to do that because people change. And that's basically everything in life it is. And for me, I would change as well, but I would still consider myself as a brony still. Well, I won't be going out screaming in the streets of my home little town and be like, I'm a brony. I'm a brony. They exist. Be one of us. It's like literally just being a brony isn't about like screaming and just being at the moment. It's just literally just being a fan of the show, honestly.
Yeah.
And that's what it means to be a fan of something. Either be a show, teams, whatever.
But overall, the popularity of My Little Pony is never going to completely go away, is it?
No.
I'm sure there's always whispers of potential content or new something. It's just a matter of how far away it is.
Yep.
That's kind of I'm new to all this, but that's kind of the way I see it. It's maybe a little bit like Star Trek fans. That they've had to wait a long time between content. Especially from the original series in the late 60s to the next generation. When did that start? Late 80s. But yeah, the popularity never completely went away. Would you agree with that assessment for My Little Pony, or do you think it could completely just go cold?
I mean, if you think about the shows before MLP came, first, second, third generation, it happened before. So this is actually just proof about shows later on become more of the society and how they look. And a good example of that is just watching either, like you say, Star Trek, or if you want to see something a big change of it, you could also see how, let's say, how fighting games are in general, just how things changed. Everything used to be 2D, and there was like, the way people like Street Fighter, King of Fighters, and then now you have like different other ones like fighting with her. I think it was like something to do with herds, because I remember it was used to be an MLP fighting game until they have Hasbro going like, oh, you can't do that. And it's understandable they didn't. And so I think they called them fighting herds.
Yep, that's what it's called now.
Yeah. And
we talked about that last week, actually. So
we did.
It's a popular show, and I'm glad that they came out in Steam, honestly. And another one will also be, I had it on the top of my head. I'll tell you guys when I remember, because I remember there was something else too.
One thing about fan content that Dave actually said that he saw when looking at stuff is there's a lot of good quality like stuff that we make, like art, songs, and all that good stuff. He was genuinely surprised about that, I think.
I think I was comparing and contrasting that with a lot of the Star Trek fan-made stuff, which historically has not been amazing. Maybe it's better now. Maybe I'm just not up with the program with the Trekkies, or the Trekkers. But I mean, just the stuff I saw was like, oh, okay. that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing we also pointed out was, friendship is magic is fan fiction turned into official content, really.
Yeah, it
when you
is.
when you have that big of a fandom, things are gonna be like that, honestly. But I
Yeah.
see it as a good thing. It's just let everybody just have their creative flows going and such.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
One thing before we do get into the episode,
Oh yeah.
Lulu, do you
Hmm.
think you would ever get a tattoo of My Little Pony at all?
I don't have any tattoos now, or I plan to do anything later on in the future, so I don't
Okay.
think so. But if I have to, I probably will have one in the back of my shoulder with where either the sign of Luna's cutie mark thing
Okay.
with the moon and such,
Yeah.
just like a little reminder.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll know I've really turned into a brony when I get
When you get a tattoo.
My Little Pony tattoo, because I don't have any tattoos. So imagine that.
Yeah, that's a huge change right there. So that's if you
Oh,
want
yeah.
to or not.
I'm going to get a tattoo at some point.
Just make sure the design looks really good before putting it.
Oh yeah.
That's why I'm gonna have my sister design it, because she's a freaking amazing at art. Like, good God.
Oh really? Cool.
Mm-hmm. I can show you guys a picture later. But anyways, we should probably get into the recap of the episode, right?
Absolutely. This is what we're all here for. So, what are we doing? Season 1, episode 4.
Yes.
Which was called Applebuck Season. And the episode description is: it's Applebuck season in Ponyville, and a short-handed Applejack is determined to all by herself. My question is whether it should be short-hoofed or short rather than short-handed, because they don't have hands. Anyway. Because they're usually pretty good with changing to the pony version, right?
Yeah, they're normally pretty good about that. But it's a recap of the episode as a whole. They're just like, all right, this is what's going on.
Yeah. So, Archie, how does the episode start?
So it starts off with Applejack more or less with her brother surveying the her crops of a bunch of apple trees, and you notice that her brother's has like a cast on, is hurt, and he's like, hey, don't
hold on. What did you just say? That the brother was injured?
Yeah.
I totally didn't pick that.
You didn't see that he was injured?
Yeah, there was like wraps literally where his stomach is. Like,
did he have it? No, he didn't have a cast. He had wraps around him.
Yeah, he had wraps around him.
That's why he wasn't helping. That's what started the entire thing.
Well, that ruins one of my theories. Oh, no, it doesn't. No. I can save it.
You can save it. All right. Her brother warns her to, not be dumb. Don't do it, by yourself. Like, be safe.
Like have at least like someone around or not or something like that. But I guess this is where I come back to like, being the prideful kind of thing. Because I think Applejack was very prideful of what she does because of her family. Because she's like, we're our hard workers. We don't need any help. We can do them by ourselves. And this is where the morality of it honestly sits. Like, this show just instantly shows how, being overworked and there's so many things happening, you always need someone to help you, honestly. There's no shame about it, honestly, especially if you have friends or family, But in this case, friends.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like I couldn't possibly do this show by myself. I definitely need help.
That would be an interesting episode. I feel like that would be amazing for you to do just one recap by yourself.
Oh god. Yeah. Well, it's probably going to happen at some point. Yeah. So what did I put in my notes? I
you
said
did your theory there.
Yeah. Applejack's big brother sounds like a deadpan Tom Hanks. And yeah, then I wrote some jokes that weren't that good, so we'll just gloss over that.
You know,
I can do better.
I can actually see Tom Hanks talking like him.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yes.
yeah, it's like a deep pitch of Woody, basically.
How, is it, hey, is it like this? Is that how he speaks?
You're close. That's like 80% close right there.
Just like,
What?
yep.
My mama always said, life is like a box of hay. You never know what you're gonna get. Yeah.
Perfect.
That's why I'm here. And then we'll get to my theory. So I've got to tweak it slightly. Yeah. So Applejack's brother's just lazy, and he injured himself, or he faked his injury, and then he found a way to manipulate Applejack to do all the work by herself, while seemingly teaching her a lesson. And my question is, does he pull the same thing every apple harvest and get the same results?
No.
Is Applejack so stubborn that this trick works every single time to get Applejack to do all the work?
No. He is not one to do that.
So you're saying I'm mischaracterizing and Tom Hanks?
How can we do this harvest? Well, she has friends, and they're very kind to her, but she's very into herself with her pride and such. Free labor, and then you see him being bent down to a chair and breaking his back. He was like, yes, I might be injured, but this is my whole plan all along.
Yeah.
Nobody would know.
Yes.
Also, ouch.
Oof. Poor man.
But I still can't remember why he was injured in the first place. That's actually a good question.
I don't know why. I think he said why. I don't remember.
I think he did say in a brief sentence why he was like that, but it was never like put on more detail after that. He's just like, oh, I injured myself, and everybody's just accepted. So basically, they did that. Okay, I believe you.
And it's just like, all right,
But then again, they can't do anything after that. It's like once somebody's injured, it's like, well, you better heal, I guess.
Then. After all that happened, she was Applebucking, then the cows started stampeding.
Hold on. Before we get to the cows.
Okay.
So there was one look that I think Applejack made where it's like she realizes that she's just being super stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's what it looked like to me. But she knows she's so stubborn that, and set in her ways that she knows she's going to go through this whole experience, and she can't change it, even though I think there was a glint of a realization that that she'd never be able to finish it herself.
Yeah, she realized it, but she's too stubborn.
Yeah, and I think that actually is realistic for people do that.
Yes, they do.
They really do.
They're just like, I'm going to be doing this all by myself, but for my pride, I can't ask anybody for help because I'm too stubborn.
Yeah, and then I wrote, it's great to have a strong work ethic, but it takes more than one pony to change a light bulb. And then I asked, do they have electricity in Equestria? Or do the lights run on magic? And have I asked this question already?
I don't think you've asked that question yet, but...
civic infrastructure.
It's kind of weird because they don't have they don't have anything like electricity components or anything like that, but they do have a train.
You go to back to the town, to the cities that they go to. They have lights. They have standing lamps that have a light bulb in it, and I believe the buildings are lit up inside when it's night. They don't have any moving vehicles or anything, but
They don't.
Hmm.
Other than the train, they do understand transportation and such.
Yeah, but it's coal powered. So
Mm.
I don't
Coal
know.
power.
Sorry. So they've got a coal powered train. So they could have coal powered electricity.
Possibly. I don't know. That's
Huh.
something that we never really figured out.
Or the lights could work on magic because they do have magic, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe.
you think it's more likely a run on fossil fuels than it is on pony magic.
I think that's their form of like fossil fuel or coal. Like, I think their magic is more like, let's say, like nature's kind of thing, honestly. And then cult is more like resources kind of thing. Like, it could be an example of like coal, gas, methane, kind of that kind of like mentality of it. Because I would guess that they do have technology there, but I'm
Mhm.
guessing the place that they live in aren't very like, they're just a small town, so that's why they don't have a lot of things to do.
They do
Like-
have cameras in Equestria, so
Oh, okay.
it's they. I don't know what time frame they're really in. I don't know.
They have
Yeah.
whatever is required for the story
Yes.
for each particular episode. Is what you.
More or less, yes. And then it just confuses people that are just like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
and if they've got cameras, but they've got hooves, then there's that whole issue of how much they can do with their hooves, right?
Hmm.
But that's not a question you can really ask.
Yeah, I don't know.
So onto the stampede.
Yes, the cows. So they have the stampede. Applejack stops them. Stamps the stampede. The thing that's weird about that is they actually talk to Applejack.
And yes, I made comment on that.
It's okay. I gotta ask you this as well, Lulu. Do you remember the cows being brought up ever again after this episode? I don't remember them again.
I don't remember them ever talking ever after again. Like, if I watched some shows like later on in the season, there probably there is one where they're like in the background, but they're not like a very important character for that episode or something like that. They're just background characters at that point.
Mhm.
But they were intelligent. They understand, and I think the reason why they stampede was because of a snake.
Something like that, yeah.
Or it was one cow saw a snake and already freaked out and then ran towards Ponyville,
Mhm.
and that's where everything was shooken up and such. But I don't think they're ever been talked to after that, honestly. So
Yep.
the question
Yeah.
is, if cows can be sentient, can other animals be sentient as well?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think we were talking about what the rules were with the animals maybe last episode when we were talking about their pets, I think. So I kind of got the idea that if the animals look more realistic, then they're more likely to be just like animals. They can't talk. They don't have human like intelligence.
Mhm.
So their pets are. But then the cows start, and when I saw it the first time, I'm like, okay, they're cows. They won't talk because they pretty much look like semi-realistic cows. But then they started talking, so there was that theory out the window. But you said that you never see the cows again.
Mhm.
No, I believe so.
Not really. They all just disappear. They're just like, oh, thank you for saving us. And then that's really it. They disappear.
They disappeared either to the farms or whatever they were grazing at, and that's
Yeah.
a lot. Nobody has ever heard them again.
I
So
do
the-
gotta.
So the overall rule is still pretty much right. If
Yeah.
the animals look more realistic, then they don't talk.
Yes. A good rule of thumb that I've noticed: if they are by Fluttershy's house, just assume they don't speak.
Okay.
They only speak to Fluttershy.
Oh, because she can talk to all the animals.
Yep.
I think there's like an animal language that she can understand and such. But
Yes.
that's my theory. Is like they speak in a certain language, in a
Mhm.
certain tone, or a certain pitch of their sounds that she can understand, but nobody else is like, oh, that bird is chirping. Oh, that rabbit is just grazing.
I
Not,
do remember Fluttershy saying, "I don't know how to explain how I understand them. I just kind of do." That's literally her explanation, if I'm remembering correctly.
Which is the writers going, we don't know. It doesn't matter. We'll just
It's
say
fine.
it's fine. Now, the cows, to my ear, sounded like they had like a Minnesotan accent, something like that.
yeah, they were very westernized and
Mm-hmm.
kind of makes it fits so perfectly with AJ, honestly.
Yes. Oh man.
Yes.
Yeah. So I do
Because,
like.
I like to spot accents.
Oh yeah. You will be able to spot a lot as it goes on. It'll be fun.
Oh, I look forward to it.
So-
And then what did I write? A Pinkie Pie silly voice was kind of funny.
Maybe she. Maybe
And
Especially-
maybe because I find her the most annoying character by far.
she is his least favorite, and I keep telling him she's going to be your favorite. He's like, I don't know about that. I'm gonna watch the turn.
I really like there to me she was like she was average, but she was below average because she was like one of those like, oh, let me get on your business, what you're doing. I'm like, holy crap, this girl doesn't know boundaries and such. But later on, you start to like her and such, and especially when you understand her past past life, and she's like, oh, I feel not pity, but like understandable at that point. And why she's like this. She always prefer to smile than be sad. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then I said, I keep forgetting that there's magic. Why not use magic to stop the stand? Well, it's the problem with magic. But didn't we decide that it's a low magic universe, so they can't just use magic all the time to solve all the problems?
Well, it'd be more like well, they do say this later. Ponyville's also very old-fashioned, so they don't use magic for everything. Unlike some other places, like the capital, Canterlot, which was a passing thing that was said, that they use magic for almost everything up in the capital of Equestria. So it's just remembering. It just came to me why I don't know why I didn't say this before.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. Some places don't use it as much. I don't know. It's because if there's that many unicorns or
yes.
I don't know.
I think there's like hardly like that much unicorns because the only person I would think that can actually handle that big of a herd is Twilight. But I bet you she looked at the mayor and be like, well, that's a level 10 spell. I'm just a level 6 at the moment. I can't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think Rarity can have that much high magic there just to like, do something with her magic. And the other ones, I don't think you see a lot of unicorns there. And if you do, it's just they just live there.
Also, there might be some laws about what kind of magic you could use inside of like the towns and cities. Now that I think about it.
Like what you can and cannot do, what spells you can use and what others you can't. It's like one of those like, oh, you're trying to use a level 10 spell, you need a license for that.
Yeah, you might,
Yeah, it'd be funny if it did though. I'm like, I have the position to be greatness, but I can't because I'm not a place that I can't do that.
So our buddy Crom Twos, who did the character art for our logo, he's been asking a whole bunch of questions.
Yes.
He's asking about the healthcare system, and I believe that we talked about the healthcare system in the last episode.
I think we might have, yeah.
Yep.
Dang it, Crom, you gotta be there.
Yep. So listen back to episode 3. I think that's when.
Yes, it is episode 3.
Would it be called head care or would it be called pony care or something like that?
Pony care.
Pony care.
Equestria care. I don't know.
Put your who's with us, kind of like saying.
One question that he does that I would like to know your opinion on, Lulu, is why don't they use magic just to heal, everybody? I want to know what you kind of think about that.
I think curing, and just as me, just thinking about D&D for a second, and it's just like, I'm guessing it's such a high spell. It's not a normal spell that some people can do, honestly.
Right.
Because if I can remember a lot of shows and a lot of they talking about cure, there's a lot they're saying like, oh, it's such a high advanced spell that you have to put your focus on it. Because I would imagine if you ever screwed up, bad things would happen to your curing process. So I'm guessing that's why. But yeah. I would imagine something like that. Okay. And then going back to who could do those spells, I don't think anybody can. It's like, well, I can make your skin glossy.
I feel like you'd have to be a specialist in that sort of magic to be something like that.
I guess so too.
It would be a very useful skill to have, but yes.
Yeah. But anyways, so in her honor, they try to have a ceremony to give her a medal and stuff like that. Twilight tries to give a speech, but she keeps getting interrupted by Rainbow Dash first, then Pinkie Pie, then Fluttershy. So she just gives up. Yeah. She just throws the papers. She's like, you know what?
Question I had: do you think Twilight Sparkle is closest to Lauren Faust's personality? Is Twilight Sparkle the surrogate for the creator? Because often creators put themselves in the show somehow. Do you know if she's ever said which pony is basically her?
Didn't she say something about that? I feel like she did. Right. Luna, do you know?
I believe so. I for Tara Strong, I really think every voice she ever does, I think it was Timmy Turner from Fairly Odd Parents, Raven from Teen Titans Go, and I believe she was Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls. If you look all the characters she ever voiced, and then to her, there's very similarities towards characters. Towards what she said, they all had somewhat same thing. Either it be very, very uppity, very happy, very determined. So I would imagine she put a little bit to herself into that character that she's trying to voice. So I would believe so, honestly, and that's a good thing that most actors, I think, a good actor would think about.
Yeah, no, because that's a good question. How much the creator puts themselves into one of the characters potentially, or that the main 6 are different aspects of the creator's character, and then as the show progresses, whether the writers, people who write the show, they identify more with some of the characters, and then as you say, the voice actors, and then as the show goes on, if you see some of the how the characters change over time. Some of that might be feedback with, the writers and the voice actors, and perhaps if the show did go on for a long time. The longer the show goes on, the more the ponies are potentially just like the voice actors. If depending on how strong the personality the voice actors have,
and how the character is structured and by itself. Yeah, I can see that.
So what did I write next? So we're
this is because
you said they kept getting interrupted, and that is a good question about leadership. Is as a leader, should you just stand up there and everyone's just got to listen to everything you say, and you're more like a dictator, or should it be more like a democracy where you let everyone speak? It can get messy if you allow everyone to speak, however. There's no real answer to that question, but yeah, it's just like Twilight Sparkle seemed to want to just talk herself, and then everyone else just sort of barged in.
I will say in the beginning, she is more of like the leader. She kind of holds court, but as it goes on, it turns more of just everybody kind of, becoming more of a team.
Yes.
Later on in the show. So, you could slowly notice that transition. You'll know when it's there. You'll see it exactly.
Cool.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Lulu?
Yeah. It's just for me, I was like, yeah, that's more understandable. I don't know what else to put on to it. I mean, for Twilight, in the beginning of her, she was more like, oh, I know more than most other ponies are because, oh, I'm very smart. And she's very smart. She's very intellectual and such. But later on, after a few episodes after that, she starts to see her view starts to challenge. Her view starts to change. And she's like, oh, some other ponies know some different topics and I would ultimately understand. And by understanding them, I can understand my point of view and what around me is. And that's later on she gets like a blessing towards that we all know on that controversial episode where it becomes,
Don't say too much. He doesn't know about this yet.
That's why I call it a blessing.
Yeah, that's the deal. Episodes aren't supposed to be spoiled for me.
He will.
I thought about it, but I was like, I can't really say too much about it, so I'm just gonna call it a blessing. But yeah, you see her like character development and such, and that's one of the key components of having a good show. Because without a good character development, people are just gonna be like, why is this character like this to begin with?
So after that, I believe you also said that Applejack seemed really tired because she was super tired because she was working way before the ceremony as well. She also arrived late to her own ceremony to collect her trophy that she was going to get from the mayor.
And I said, like, she seemed beyond tired, like she was on Ambien or something, which was the drug that Roseanne took that made her tweets go extra spicy. There's no version of tweeting in Equestria.
No, not really.
But I guess they can say embarrassing things to each other. I guess we'll get to that later when she doesn't even understand what people are saying. Completely misunderstands everything. And then I wrote, so Pinkie Pie didn't notice that anything was wrong with Applejack?
I think she does, but I don't think she cares.
Right. Because I questioned whether she's oblivious or like what the just being Pinkie Pie.
Pinkie Pie's intelligence has always been something of an anomaly. Some say she's like the smartest, and others say that she's not. It's something else. I don't know. What do you think, Lulu?
I think she was. That's a good question. It's one of those things where it just basically point of view. For me, I think she was very cautious about the situation she is because think about it. Everybody's seeing this awards thing. There's a lot of ponies watching and such. If she's just looked at her and be like, "Are you okay, Applejack? You don't seem like yourself." And that's kind of like putting everybody into like a weird, awkward phase where they're like just looking at her and be like, "Is she okay? Is she good to get the trophy? Is she even entitled to get the trophy at this point if she's like this?" And then I think what she did was like good enough to like play along, be everything good, make everybody feel like that she's good. She's fine. And people like Twilight or characters who are like a little bit more intelligent than some others will see some like things that aren't really how it is. They can see through the facade and be like, Applejack's, your eyes are baggy. I don't remember your character design to be like that. So
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sticking. I was also thinking she also just tries to make everybody smile as well, because that's a big thing. She just wants to keep people happy because she is the element of laughter.
yeah,
So,
that is
yeah.
her character. She rather has everybody laughing and being happy than rather being worried or sad. So
Mhm.
that's and that also, but because she's like that, makes me like determine whether or not if she was actually being smart about the decision or like you said, maybe she's oblivious to it. So it's basically
Yeah.
just a point of view. That's my point of view.
Dave,
The next bit, I said Twilight Sparkle can teleport.
Dave, about that question, you saw her teleport last episode, Dave. Last episode, she used teleportation.
When?
After the phase when she got chased by the mass of ponies, she teleports back to her
Oh
library.
yeah.
Oh, after the Benny Hill sequence.
Yes, like at the very end, she teleports away, and Spike says a whole bit where he says, "Remind me when you're going to do that."
Oh.
Well,
So she does that regularly, teleporting.
yeah, more or less, yeah, I guess so. It doesn't. Happens more frequently in the episodes now that I'm thinking about it. You know, not obviously every episode, but
And it doesn't, yeah, there's a range to it, I imagine. She can't teleport anywhere she wants in the universe.
no,
No.
she's not that powerful.
I guess she can only teleport to places that she knows very well. I think that's the rule of thumb for that.
You'll meet a character that powerful.
Okay.
I think the only character who can do that is Celestia and Luna because obviously they've been here longer. But I think the rule of thumb will still apply to them still.
There's also the villain that shows up at the beginning of season 2.
Oh yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that though when that comes up.
When we cross that river or bridge.
It's getting harder and harder for me to not just binge the thing and
take your time. That's all I gotta say. To be honest, for this one, it's like one of those shows where I like to savor rather than binge. Like Stranger Things, is like I rather binge that. But like for Doctor Who, I like to savor it because there's so many small details and such, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah, when you binge, it just all kind of blurs together.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we find out in the episode more about Applejack's big family.
Yes, her relatives, because Twilight goes down there because it does kind of like a little time skip after that. After they look into the trophy, and Twilight goes down, and Applejack explains what Applebuck season is to and then they talk about the relatives.
Yeah, no, I read on one of the wikis that it was originally written that she was going to headbutt instead of Buck.
Really?
The
headbutt.
Prince. Yeah, but they changed it.
That's
it's
probably
much better.
That's probably for the better.
Yeah, I think it's better. Like imagine many trees from that and just doing that each and every time. There's a high percentage that she's gonna get brain damage.
Well, I was going to say, is that why it seems that she's worse than just sleepy? Because in the original draft, she was headbutting all the trees.
Yeah, that would probably have a lot to do with some stuff.
Maybe. But that's like a true meaning of a hard-headed.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh yeah, she does talk where all family went. Basically, that entire family that she had. Went home, more or less. They don't live there. They just have the 4 of them that live there: Granny Smith, Apple Bloom, Applejack, of course, and Big Mac.
Okay. And I think I asked this in a previous episode, but how much we get into the families of the other ponies?
Twilight Sparkles, you get into hers. Pinkie's, you see her family. You see her entire family. Rainbow Dash, you see her family. I don't remember Rarity. Do we ever see Rarity's family, Lulu?
She mentions in one of the other episodes, I think it was like one episode on season 2, where she said that her family lives in a city and all that, but she decided to live in a country because she said that something to do with like I can't work in this kind of area. I have to go somewhere quiet, kind of. Like I remember that episode, but I can't specifically call where it was honestly. But yeah, that I mean, she does have a family.
Yeah, Rarity's the only one we don't really see her family, right? Because we see Fluttershy's family, we see everybody else's.
Yeah.
We don't see Rarity's. Huh.
Yeah.
That's wow. I just realized that. But yeah, we will get into other families. Some of them are further away than others. But yeah.
I think we do see her families though. Like later on in the later episodes, yes, she does have, because I do remember her dad wearing a Hawaiian shirt, if you can recall, if you remember. And
oh yeah. I see that, but I don't remember what episode that's from.
I can't. I'm literally the same, but I'm like I seen this episode. I just don't remember.
It's literally called Rarity's Family Showcase. Gosh dang it!
Yeah.
So yes, we do see other families, but I don't think we see them for
a while.
For a while, and I think that was like the only episode we see with them together.
There's a bunch of episodes where we only see them for like one, you know. But yeah, okay, yeah, shoot, yeah, we see all their families. All right.
So, moving on with the episode. Then what happens? Twilight Sparkle tries to convince Applejack that she needs help.
And she's like, "No, I got this. Don't worry, y'all."
Because as I wrote, like the magical characters can just take care of this stuff.
Yeah, but her family, she's got to, you know, stick with her stuff. This is how her family's done it for many generations. This is always how we're gonna do it. It's tradition.
Hard work's its own reward and all that. So.
So then we get into I'm trying to read the notes to make sure I don't skip ahead to the catapult where she helps out Rainbow Dash.
Yes. And I asked, does Equestria have fall damage?
Yes. I believe so, but maybe that episode.
I believe they do have fall damage from that time because later on after when she was catapulted, you can see stars around Rainbow Dash's head.
Don't you also see stars around, like she's almost like she's dazed? Applejack said. You know, it because she gets very dizzy because she hit the ground so much.
Yes. And in episode 2, was it? In one of the trials or whatever, I can't remember the details. One of the ponies was potentially falling down a cliff, hanging.
Applejack saved Twilight
to let go, and
Applejack told Twilight she was holding on to Twilight, and she said, "Let go." And you know the whole thing. "Oh, you crazy?" And she does it, and you know Rainbow catches her.
So that would indicate there's definitely fall damage, because otherwise you wouldn't worry.
Yeah, you just be like, "All right, let's go."
Yeah, it might hurt a bit, but I'll be right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, she keeps missing this catapult that she's trying to do. Eventually, she does hit it when Rainbow isn't ready. And she gets flying into the Twilight's home, the library. So,
so my question with that bit, right, is so Rainbow Dash can fly, yeah? So what was the point of the catapult teeter-totter?
She wanted to get into the air quicker. She wanted to do some sort of trick. She said it for a brief second about why.
Since it didn't seem 100% necessary, my question was whether Rainbow Dash is also, like, whether all this is just trying to like troll or make things even worse for Applejack, whether they were all just like, oh, this will be fun. She's so stubborn. Let's try and make life as difficult as possible for her. Oh, yeah, I'll do a catapult. Why not? She'll help. She always says yes.
AJ also did show up late to the appointment with Rainbow Dash.
Yes.
But I don't know. We do learn later that Rainbow Dash is a big fan of pranks. I don't know.
Yes. I mean,
that
no, I haven't seen a little bit of the next episode. I promise. The thing is, in Netflix, it just auto plays the next episode. So
it just automatically goes. Then you're like, "Yep, here we go."
Here we go. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I was saying. Whether they all get entertained by manipulating Applejack using her pig-headed stubbornness, and then I asked if there's any pigs in Equestria. I imagine that there are. Maybe we've seen them already, and I've forgotten. Are there talking pigs? Are there flying pigs?
No. There's no talking pigs. There's no flying pigs.
Okay.
You want to say anything about that, Lulu?
Yeah, I would say if there's like cows, I would imagine them having farms. I would imagine them having pigs, but pigs with wings, probably some other place where it's like a very different place, because there's places in Equestria that like have different kinds of parts. But flying pigs, I don't think that's a species.
No.
Or at least a species that we never seen. Because if they do have that'd be kind of a one way of saying when pigs can fly. And you're like, well, in that place, yeah.
The only time I can think of them showing up is when a certain villain, Lulu probably knows what I.
Yeah.
He does it, but it's like he made it, so it's not like they're just a species there.
Oh.
So once we get to that, you'll understand. I will go on about that. So then after the catapult thing, Twilight, because once she hits in, there's a small moment where Twilight's like, "Hey, I'm guessing Applejack was involved with this somehow." Then after that, she helps Pinkie Pie with the baking stuff at Sugar Coop Corner, the place that she works at.
Yes.
So this is when she starts to misunderstand what the ponies are trying to say to her.
Yes. Yeah. So thinking that do you need some help? Do you want some kelp or whatever it was? Yeah. So I thought that was pretty good. It was like, in terms of bits that I might laugh at. That was one of them in this episode, definitely. And then I wrote Applejack has got to be on some kind of sedative, but I think it's better explained by the headbutting original draft.
Yeah.
And then I commented that why does Applejack help everyone so much? Do they reciprocate, or does she just get exploited by everybody because she's got the strongest work ethic? Typically, and then I was just saying, typically in groups of people, you see this in like the show Big Brother, that there'll be some people that do heaps of work, like all the housework and cooking and cleaning and all that, and then you'll get some people that do nothing and get away with it.
But in Big Brother, also some people just can't stand it, like they're OCD. So they also just like, I have to do this. And there's some people that like, I have to do something. I can't just sit around. But
but there's a set amount of work. The work gets done, but everyone doesn't do the exact same amount of work.
Yeah, that's true.
And so relating this back to this episode, does Applejack, and future episodes, is Applejack always the one with the strongest work ethic, and therefore does way more work than the other ponies do, or does that change?
I think Applejack does do the most work out of everyone, honestly. Right. I mean, anybody else who actually does more work than her, I think that has to be her big brother. because
Yeah.
Right.
in every other show you see him like helping other ponies too. Because that's one thing I remember from Big Mac was actually doing that a lot. So
So he
Big
is a
Mac.
hard worker as well.
yeah,
Yes.
I
Their
think
entire family is hard workers.
yep.
Hmm?
Well, while their little sister is like, who am I?
Yeah, but she goes off and does her own thing. She's a little kid, so it's fine.
It's fine, I guess.
She does help on the farm every once in a while when it's needed, but yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, but yeah, most of the families in Applejack's family, it's just they're very hard workers and such.
They're also super loyal
Yeah.
as well. So
She is super loyal, and she's also super loyal to like other ponies as well in that place because she also helps them too. Because as you can see, like later on in the show, you can see her like giving out everything to people during her farm kind of days, like working there, and also she's also helping other ponies too. So I would say her mentality is just hard work pays off.
yeah, some people have argued to switch Rainbow Dash and Applejack's elements because some people think it should be the other way around. But
Well,
I've heard some people say that.
yeah, I heard some too, but at the same time, I'm like, well, she does it just because she's warm-hearted. She's a good person, not a good person, a good horse or pony in her own heart. While more like Rainbow Dash, she's just trying to improve herself each and every day, and that itself is a hard work too.
Yeah.
But that's for herself. But she all around understands that it's for everybody else too, to improve everybody around her. But I will still say Rainbow does her hard work in her own way, in her independent way, while Applejack is more hardworking for everyone around her. So she's more of a support kind of horse or pony.
Support pony.
I keep forgetting I used to say horse even in the past too, and some people's like they're ponies.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
But after all that happens, after the muffins get baked, Pinkie just starts handing them out. Even though I think didn't they look a bit weird? If I'm remembering them correctly.
The muffin was baked, but when they were baked, you don't see anything wrong with them. They got to the point where everybody was like dripping their mouth. There was like salivating because they looked really good.
Yep, Derpy was also there, a fan favorite. She's the one who yells muffins. That's where I believe that's where the muffin thing started with her.
Yeah, that's her little trend going on during that time.
Because if you didn't know, in the first episode, there was a pony in the background where the eyes were like all super derped, where one was looking up and the other was looking down. Right. And that's where Derpy came to being. But then after she gave it all away, the scene changes. It does just a bit time skip, and a bunch of people are sick, and like a nurse is taking care of them. And Twilight comes over like, "What happened here?" And basically Pinkie says something along the lines of like, "Oh, Applejack, helped out with the muffins," and it was just like. It was a bad time because a bunch of people were sick. And Twilight's like, again.
But yeah, I did comment that I liked the amount of Spike in this episode.
Oh, yes.
He's the only one who liked it.
Spike light. There wasn't much Spike, right?
Yeah. There's only when you see Twilight, Spike is with her during that time.
Yeah, during season 1. Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there was a talking mule for a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that was just a little comedic bit. Whether I don't think that necessarily says that all mules can talk. in the universe.
Yeah.
So yeah, Flight of Fancy or whatever it's called. And then we get to the bunny roundup.
Yes. When Applejack meets up with your favorite character, Fluttershy.
My favorite character, yes, Fluttershy.
Yes.
And, yeah, I couldn't work out what the point of the bunny roundup was until then I read the transcript, and yep, it was a bunny census.
Yeah, because he tells us, "Hey, be gentle."
Count the bunnies, right?
Yeah.
And then I said, "Yeah, I'm not sure what they do. What they do if there's too many bunnies."
I don't know, and I don't want to know.
Probably don't see that.
I actually like the Lion King reference they put into there, honestly. When they like marched up and such. It was pretty cute, honestly. I will say that for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and then I said bunny. But the idea of a bunny stampede is pretty funny. Yeah, so they
Fortunately, no ponies will trample to death.
yes, fortunately, no ponies were trampled to death because they were bunnies. But yeah,
yes.
So yes, because that's the second stampede in the episode.
Yeah.
So you needed to have the cow stampede at the start in order for the bunny stampede to kind of make sense and be funny. If you just had the bunny stampede, then I guess it wouldn't have worked quite as well.
Also, Fluttershy tells Applejack, "Hey, you got to be gentle with this." She does it like she did in the herd at the very beginning.
Yeah.
She just chases them around with Wona as well with the dog.
Yeah. But only difference from this stampede and the other one was that they were successful going straight towards to the Ponyville, while the other one wasn't.
Yes, and then they ate everybody's crops and plants.
Oh yeah,
and plants and flowers and whatnot. Yeah,
nothing grew. There was no green everywhere.
Nope, everything was gone.
Everything was gone.
One thing that I do want to figure out is, we'll probably talk about this later, is how much money do they spend on repairs in Ponyville?
I would imagine a lot, honestly. There's a lot of farming and agriculture there, so losing any kinds of plants, especially vegetables or any kind of fruits, that's like the livelihood right there. I would guess.
Yeah, it's important that they.
And I'm guessing that's why they relied on AJ so much during that time. So when that happened,
yes,
they're like saying, "Where's AJ? Where's AJ? Where's Applejack?"
Yeah, no, because I think we talked about this in a previous episode about where they've got all got jobs and how sort of useful they all are to society. Because again, it seems like Applejack does a lot. But is it Rarity that designs the costumes and?
Yes.
She's
the one who makes the clothes and stuff.
Yeah, so and she owns her shop. So yeah. Yes. But then so then in the episode, Twilight Sparkle decides that enough is enough. No more. So I guess she really is saying that I'm the boss. Enough.
Yeah, she's like, that's enough. It's time for you to let your friends help.
Let your friends help. Yeah, and the alliteration run was pretty good. I'll just read that out. Your Applebucking just has. Okay. Try again. Your Applebucking hasn't just caused you problems. It's overpropelled Pegasus's practically poisoned plenty of ponies and terrorized bushels of brand new bouncing baby bunnies.
All right, now
that's good.
Now reread that in the voice of Twilight.
No. I did. That's my Twilight voice.
That's how best as I can do it. That is Twilight.
Yes, with my deep voice.
All right. Yeah, basically she just tells her that her stubbornness is going to get in more problems than needs to be. Yes. And Big Back points out that, hey, you only did a part of this. There's still so much more to go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's right. That's right.
And then she faints. And that's when they come back and, they give her some apple juice. And all her friends said, hey, we're going to help you. And even Spikes, offers help. So,
I think in that
Even
time
Spike.
yep. I think in that time she realized that she can't be doing this so long often. She was determined at first, but in the middle of it, she's just exhausted and tired to the point where not only was she like harming to herself, but also not helping anybody around Ponyville as such. So knowing that when I think Twilight just put the nail on a coffin when she says, "You still got more to go." And after she fainted, she's like, "I really can't do this by myself." And then she begs Twilight for help, or at least have a light shine into her.
Yes. Yeah, and then I said, I mean, this episode really was more of a traditional ending when there's a moral to the story,
yes.
right? Which is, don't be too stubborn. Let
others help.
Let others help. It's great to be a strong, independent pony, but
Honestly, she could have finished that work if she would have just looked at Twilight, but like, "Hey, can you help me?" Because if I could remember the show, it was like she grabbed all like a field of trees, just grab the apples just like that, 5 seconds, just all that, and take it where it needed to be. And I think it was like 3 barrels, and I was like,
yes,
that's literally more faster than
I
having
know.
hitting the trees and doing all that. It's like you just did all this. Like I would understand you were trying to exercise yourself, but like that's like way more efficient and faster.
Yes, that's what I thought too. And then there was a joke bit about Spike getting the muffins out of the trash.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, he really likes those muffins.
The muffins that suck.
The only time where Pinkie Pie will look at it and be like, "No,
What do you do when you
what are you doing?"
crazy dragon?
And then I commented that Trash Muffins is my stripper name.
Trash muffins.
It's a good name. But yeah, so because Spike seems to have a different kind of GI track than the other ponies do. Because like he eats gems and rubies and whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
So
he has a different kind of ecosystem in his stomach that he can eat.
Yep.
It's like Spike is like a goat. He literally eats anything that's like not even edible too.
Yes.
I'm just surprised.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's the end of the episode. So there's still 24 episodes to go in just season 1.
Yep.
Can I really do this?
Yes, you can.
Actually, I don't mind watching the show now. The only bit that's a bit of work is writing the notes really. But yeah, no, I no longer. I don't mind watching it now. It's fine. I did wonder when we started because I pretty much came into this blind, didn't I?
Yeah,
I thought that'd be a funny idea.
Like, okay, Lulu, this is how this podcast started. Are you ready? I thought this was a joke. He was like, "Hey, we should make a podcast about reviewing the show My Little Pony." And I'm like, "Alrighty then." And then I got the question asked, I believe by him. He's like, "All right, when are we going to do this?" I'm like, "What?" And so that's how it started.
It's like literally AJ with the trees of apples in the field. It's like we're gonna do all these episodes, aka apples. You're like, that's a good plan. Wait, when?
Wait a minute, what?
Wait, what?
All right,
What?
I guess we're doing it. Oh man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes. I mean, me with my previous podcasting experience, and you with your Brony experience.
Yes.
Yeah. At some point, I thought, oh, actually, we could do this. Yeah, it could actually work.
It's possible.
And my prediction is of all the shows currently in the Who's Right Extended Universe podcast network, I think this is the one that's going to last the longest. Is my
You think
prediction.
this was going to be the longest running one out of all of them?
Yes. What do you not?
Well,
what do you think?
I think it might be. I don't know if it'll outlast some of the. I don't know. It may outlast them. I would have to think a bit more. It might be one that maybe, as you said before, is more sustainable than some of the other ones. Because we have content for, like you said, 5 years, right?
Yes, and bonus episodes as well.
Yes. Oh man.
So, yes, it will. This will be the last podcast standing, I'd say. In fact, I think we'll outlast Who's Right.
You
Right
really
podcast.
think we're gonna outlast Who's Right?
Yep, and we'll outlast the official podcast. You wait.
It's like the scenario where like humanity is never existing anymore. There's aliens comes in and then they look at the satellite that has the internet on it, and the only thing they see is this podcast.
It was the only remnants of society.
And in fact, I'll go one step further than that. And this will be going for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And in that time, some new pony content's going to be announced.
Yeah.
So we won't run out.
Season 5 might be not season 5, but Gen 5 could possibly be out by that time.
Exactly.
Possibly.
Hopefully.
Yes, hopefully.
We can always dream.
Yes, we can only dream. Oh man.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Lulu.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. Actually, this was actually really fun.
Oh, you're welcome. Hey, if one of us is ever out, I'm gonna call you. We have somebody else, but I'm gonna call you for a stand-in if one of us is gone.
If I have the time and I'm available for that time, yeah, I'll come. I don't mind talking about this stuff because honestly, it's giving me such flashbacks of good times. Honestly,
yeah. And I'll stand it.
That would be amazing.
Honestly, a little trivia: when MLP actually did start, and this was during like their first season started, I actually joined in a group on Facebook called Equestrian Freedom Fighters.
Huh.
So, yep, that's what like the first group I ever been to, and we started talking about stuff, and I loved it so much. Right now, there's a few people from that group that are technically and there's just some that just either never like messaged me back or just never been back on the internet ever at all. We used to play games, themes. During that time, Xbox One. During that time, I really had fun. So hopefully that feeling happens again. Honestly.
Oh, Dave. By the way, how I met Lulu was all by chance as well. I was literally just playing Team Fortress 2. I saw his thing. I'm like, I'm gonna friend him, and then that's how it all started.
It all started because of that server, that MLP server, and I'm actually really happy that I made a lot of friends on there too.
Nice, yeah.
Mine was actually a random game. It was a control point. I remember what map it was on too.
If I have to guess, it was Hydro. If I have to guess,
something like that.
Something like that.
So, Archie, do you want to close out the episode?
Sure. All right. Well, thanks for spending some time today with us in our cutie marks. Subscribe, like, share, review, recap, and bunny stampede Brony boys all over the internet. Do it. And send us cutie marks if you'd like to be a guest on a future show. You got any other plugs? Anything, Dave?
Just RyanLongComedy.com with an I. Lulu, have you got anything else to plug?
Do you want to plug anything?
I'm not a big social media fan. Okay. Even though I do have a Twitter, same thing, honestly. So just Discord Luna, and it's right there.
Cool. All right. Well, let's not beat a dead pony any further and send to the great blue glue factory in the sky. Let's shut the stable doors on this episode. Bye from Archie and Captain. What? McIntrotsky? Is that what that is?
McIntrotsky? Yeah.
McIntrotsky.
Yeah, you have to have a Russian voice for that, I'm guessing.
Captain McIntrotsky.
Captain McIntrotsky.
And remember, friendship is magic. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, awesome.
All right.
In
I should